What is up, people? Miles here with Keep the Change. Today we are looking at the best fast food stocks. We're going to be ranking them. I got 7 names here that everyone recognizes, I would hope. And if you like the video, make sure to leave a like. Really helps the channel out. And if you want to see 2 new videos every week about stocks, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's free, okay? Please succumb to peer pressure and hit that button. Now, let's get into it. So we're going to open up our little tier list here, and we have a lot of rankings, actually. All right, guys, so here's our tier list. We got S. So obviously S is the best. We got A, B, C, and then we have the worst investment ever. Why would you even think about buying this? You are a complete moron if you even go near this restaurant, let alone put your money into it. I cannot believe you are still alive. Now that's basically the F ranking, but just expand it a little bit. I decided to add a little more character. So the first stock we're going to be talking about here is McDonald's. It's a classic, okay? I'll give you guys my opinions on their food as well later, but for right now, we're focusing on the stock. So for McDonald's, they have a PE of 32. They have a forward PE of 25, so that's actually not too bad. It's pretty much in line with the market, I would say. They also have a dividend yield of 2.46%. However, the payout ratio is a little high at 80%. They have a lot of debt, so I think their market cap is 150 billion. They have 48 billion in debt. At this point, based off all that, McDonald's is very okay. It's not the best. I don't think their sales growth is going to be amazing. If you go to McDonald's, at least for me recently, I've been there and it seems like the deals are almost all gone. You can get like a 2 for 6, but come on, dude. Where's a 2 for 5? Get it back. Everything's more expensive. There's less items on the menu. They've done less inventive things. I mean, they had the Travis Scott meal. That was pretty cool. So I think I'll put it in the A category only because I think it's probably one of the safer stocks here out of any of these. It's pretty reliable. However, the growth is just really not there. That's kind of my biggest issue with McDonald's. And they do have a lot of debt, but so do a lot of companies here. So it's not really anything against them. Our next stock on the list is Wendy's. I love Wendy's as a restaurant. Okay, the 4 for 4, it cannot be beat. However, their revenue is pretty stagnant. If you look at the revenue graph, it's pretty all over the place. They haven't really been growing their revenues for the past 3 years. They also have a higher valuation than McDonald's at a forward PE of 29, but I don't think that's justified, to be quite honest. Although, yes, it does have a lot more reward going for it, I think the risk kind of outweighs it. Even though the McDonald's revenue growth is not the best thing going for it, it's reliable, okay? Wendy's doesn't really have a good track record as a company so far. Their dividend is also worse. They have a 73% payout ratio, so almost as high as McDonald's. However, they only have a 1.37% yield, and their debt is enormous. They have $3.5 billion of debt, and their company's only worth $5 billion, so that's really not that great at all. Could Wendy's surprise people and analysts by growing their revenues massively and growing their profits massively in the future? I'm sure. However, I think the risk just really outweighs it here, and it's a lot worse than a lot of other companies on this list. So I'm going to put it at a C. Okay, it's not the worst. I think there's worse on here, but it's not the best either. The next stock we'll look at on this list here is Chipotle. Everyone knows Chipotle. It's basically like Mexican Subway or something. It's all right food. It's not the best, but we're not here to judge the food. We're here to judge the company. So let's get into it, guys. Chipotle's got one of the highest valuations on this list. The forward PE is around 70. The normal PE is around, I don't know, 140. This is like Amazon, okay? This is like Amazon level valuation. And when you take a look at it, although Chipotle is growing revenues pretty nice, it's not anywhere near what Amazon is doing. They also don't have a dividend, which a lot of these restaurant stocks do, although I do kind of like that because they can just invest more back into the business and be like a higher growth stock, so it's not the worst thing. Something else that's good about Chipotle as well is their debt and their current assets. So their current ratio is 1.6, which is one of the highest ratios on this list, and they have 3 billion in debt and a market cap of around 40 billion, which really is not that bad, especially compared to a lot of companies here. They basically have as much debt as Wendy's with just like 7 times the market cap. So that's pretty good. However, my biggest problem is valuation. I can't justify purchasing it at this level, okay? The sales growth, it's going to be 12% next year. That does not justify a 70 forward PE in my opinion at all. But I would much rather own this stock than Wendy's. I don't think it presents as good of a value as McDonald's though. So that's where we're going to put it in the B tier. This next one on the list is Yum Brands. You've probably never heard heard of them because they own a bunch of restaurants. They own Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC. Taco Bell and KFC, some of my favorite fast foods. I think Taco Bell is going to have massive growth in the future. Pizza Hut, on the other hand, in my opinion, kind of dead weight. Okay, Domino's for the win, baby. In terms of the company, they're worth around $30 billion. They have a forward P of 25, so that is pretty low. That's pretty good, especially when you consider that they're going to have as much growth as Chipotle next year, just for a way cheaper valuation. So that is very, very appetizing. Their dividend yield is also very good. It's almost 2% with only a 50% payout ratio, which is probably one of the best on the list. And they do have a lot of debt. They're worth about 30 billion and have 11 billion in debt, which is it's a problem for me. I'm not gonna lie, I hate debt, okay, but a lot of these restaurant stocks just have debt. It's just the way it is. However, when I really break this stock down, it's selling at a very fair valuation with a higher revenue growth than a lot of the other companies on this list. I mean, as high as Chipotle for way better valuation, and the same valuation as McDonald's, just higher growth. Also, the dividend is very good, okay? They have room to grow it. So yeah, I think honestly this might be the best business here. So I'm gonna put it at an S. Also, it's kind of cool because you get like 3 businesses in one. You get Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Trash, but that's okay. So that is our S tier. Next on the list, we got Jack in the Box. Everyone has a story about Jack in the Box and how trash it is because it's absolute garbage. They're actually the smallest market cap here at 2 billion, and their valuation is very fair. Their forward P is at around 18. Also, to their credit, the dividend is very, very good in my opinion. It's around 1% with only a 30% payout ratio, so not bad at all in the slightest. But the biggest problem with this company by far is the future growth in their sales, which is next to nothing. It's like 0.3%. And also their debt. Their debt is insane. They have 2 billion in debt and the entire company is worth 2 billion. So, you know, you'd crunch the numbers there. The reason the valuation is so cheap is because there's not a ton of growth in the future, and also the debt is just so big. It's the biggest on this list. So, I don't think this is a great company. This is the worst investment ever. Why would you think about buying this? Why would you buy Jack in the Box? Really, go reflect, go look in the mirror, ask yourself, do I want to be a better person and not invest in Jack in the Box? Yes, you do. The next stock we're talking about on the list is going to be Shake Shack. Now, if you've been to Shake Shack, you know it's extremely, extremely expensive. Also, there's not that many of them. Currently, they're kind of expanding their operations all over the country, opening up stores wherever they can. I've been to Shake Shack a couple times. Every time I go, it is amazing. I do love the food. The prices, it's very pricey, but you know, you kind of pay for what you get. I don't even know if I would consider this fast food, but the market does and most people do, so we're putting it in that category. As a business, in terms of growth, it's got the best growth potential out of any of these names by far. For next year, they're projecting they're going to grow their revenue by 42%, which is absolutely astonishing, especially for a restaurant stock. They also have the best balance sheet by far. They have a current ratio of 1.9, which is absolutely amazing. They only have like 370 million in debt, which is fantastic. That's lower than pretty much every stock here. But of course, the big problem here is valuation, okay? Their forward PE is at 400. 400, that is crazy. That's like Tesla numbers, okay? That might be worse than Tesla. And at the end of the day, it's just a restaurant. But in the same sense, it is going to grow massively. So overall, I'm going to put this in the A category. The valuation is quite frankly insane. However, the sales growth is amazing here, okay? And it's a lot better than Chipotle. I think Chipotle's forward P is a lot worse for what you're getting, if that makes sense. Like, I would rather pay a 400 forward P for 40% sales growth than a 70 forward P for like 12% sales growth. That just doesn't make any sense to me. If Shake Shack had a lower valuation, I would definitely put it in S, okay? I'll probably look into this one. If it dips, I would definitely love to purchase some. This is our full tier list here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Which stocks would you buy? What restaurant is your favorite on this list? Mine is probably Taco Bell, the best restaurant in all of mankind. Everyone knows that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm doing a Q&A, by the way, so if you have a question, just leave a question down for me in the comments down below. I'll get around to it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, have a great day. 6% payout ratio. Hey.
What?
I'm filming.
I need to grab some.
Okay, come grab it. What are you getting?
This.
Give me the Red Bull. When's the pod, bruh?
2:45, bruh.
Oh.